Does anybody know about Rutland Regional Medical Center? Well, I'm going to tell you what they did here to Miss Westmore. They did the same thing to my daughter. My daughter will never be the same. Rutland Regional Medical Center, we're calling on you next.
Call may be recorded for quality assurance purposes. Switchboard, this is Jenna.
Yes, all calls are recorded for insurance purposes. Please put me through to your, your risk management team, legal department, please, for your hospital. We have some questions about your shock therapy and ketamine treatment on psychiatric patients.
Hold on a moment.
Thank you.
Legal risk and compliance, this is Flavia.
Hi, I'm sorry I didn't catch your name.
It's Flavia?
Could you spell that, please?
Sure, it's F as in Frank, L-A, V as in Victor, I-A.
Okay, Fabiola, I have to have that for the record, thank you. I'm calling out of regard and concern about a patient that was there in 2021. She was court-ordered to be there. I'm not going to give a name, but the fact is, I'm aware, being that she's my daughter, that she was held there under court order. She was shock treated, which we've already had a discussion about that with the legal department back in 2023, March of. And she was also dosed with ketamine. So knowing that shock treatment reversed my daughter's memory, and she'll never be the same again. She's got seizures. She's just been off the chain, been abused ever since by police, doctors, and politicians. She was also abused in your hospital, and it was reported, and it was reported to Rutland Police Department July 17th of 2021, and they hid that information, but we were just able to receive and retrieve the case number that was hidden throughout the police department. So we brought that again to the attention of this department back in March of 2023. We had a three-way lengthy conversation. Then there was a meeting held and a letter sent out on care of me and to my address, which was forwarded on to my daughter, concluding the fact that they found ketamine treatment and shock treatment to destroy my daughter like they did another lady back in 2007, 2008, and they lawsuited back in 2017. It was in the news that it was funded by the CIA to Rutland Regional Medical Center to treat such patients as my daughter and Miss Westmore like this, okay? So noting that my daughter's life has been reversed forever, she will never be the same child that I gave birth to, nor will she ever be the same child that was illegally apprehended. And by the way, the cases were dismissed. So I say illegally, and malicious prosecution is being brought against the court players and defenders that did this to my daughter. So I'm asking you to cordially make the public aware in your legal department that there's a major lawsuit coming here to Rutland Regional Medical Center for the illegal and the torturous situations that take place against and toward the patients, the victims on that psychiatric ward. So I'm going to ask that you take this information that I'm going to gracefully give to you. And no, I share all my information with attorneys, with Congress, doctors, and the public throughout social media and otherwise. So I'm going to ask you to take this information. You find out who was staffing psychiatric ward in June, July, and August of 2021. Who was administrating ketamine? Who was it that sexually assaulted my daughter July 17th, 2021, and it was a male subject. I believe he was a colored male subject, and that was also discussed, but it was not disclosed in the letter that they sent to us, finding that it was appropriate for her to be treated like that. No, it's not. Okay, so you need to find that letter, is my daughter's name and birth date, and you find out, please, who was it that abused my child? Okay, because I am going to be organizing a rally and a protest. I'm letting you all aware now. This is December 17th, 2024, and you are going to be rallying and protested until your doors are closed and I receive justice and my daughter's life is back on track. Mind you, again, the charges that put her there were dismissed. And now we are coming full force. I'm coming for all of you for punitive damages in federal. I will be suing Rutland Regional Medical Center and all staff for the punitive damages, emotional distress that this has brought on to me since July and June of 2021, this current date, and until it is settled. I prefer to settle it outside of court, but I'd just as soon enter the court. Do you understand me loud, clear, and fully?
Yes, I do. Can you repeat your daughter's date of birth for me too, and repeat the last name?
It was a middle to later aged lady that took the call and conferenced with myself and my daughter back on, I believe it was March 9th or 7th of 2023. I believe it was March 9th, because diagnosed with traumatic epilepsy in Portland, Maine Hospital. And this is after my daughter has been gone missing. She had been lured. She had been raped again. I've got so many cases from the time that she was put in that hospital, shock treated, ketamine fed, let out. She weighed approximately 30 pounds less. She was unrecognizable. Her hair was all matted up. I couldn't get a pick or a comb through it, and I have eyewitnesses to it. The federal postal worker from Island Pond, Vermont, Janine, brought my daughter back home to me because she found Brianna after being released from your hospital in a closed laundromat looking out. She was in despair. She again was unrecognizable, and they had to get her to me. She made no sense. She made notations as she was being just in standing mode in my living room. She looked at me and started derobing herself. And I said, Brianna, what are you doing? Put your clothes back on, as she laid down on my couch. And she looked at me and could barely speak when she said, you want me to? Of course I want you to. So there was another notation right there. Fact is, it was reported in July that she had been abused, raped, and beaten in that hospital. She wasn't allowed anybody to visit her. None of the police went over to check on her, and the case has been hidden through dismissal without even. So that's a violation of USC 242-1983. My daughter was abused in that hospital, and I'm coming for full justice.
Well, I appreciate the phone call, and I will push this forward, and I apologize that your daughter is having such a hard time.
I had to travel to find my daughter that went missing July 12th of 2024 to Maryland. She was badly beaten, apprehended, tied up, gagged, knocked out, and left for the dead in the woods because of this memory loss and all of what happened to her in Rutland Regional Medical Center. I blame all of that staff, and I promise you, this is just the beginning. There will be no end in sight until somebody contacts me back and you all do me by right and you make it right. You stop immediately that shock treatment, ketamine feeding, and everything that you know is disgustingly happening illegally and wrongfully to anybody. Nobody has the right to be tortured. Nobody has the right to be administered drugs that they don't want. Okay? So think about that, please. And I suggest and request that somebody contact me back within 72 hours and let me know what your findings are, because lo and behold, I do not reside too far from the courtroom, and I will file before Christmas.
Can I have your contact number?
Yes, you may.
Anybody that's been subjected to psychiatric wards or anything outpatient, inpatient, otherwise, make sure that you take full note of what I just shared with you and what happened to my daughter as well as others in Rutland Regional Medical Center. Thank you.